Sorry, long legs. We almost lost our table.
Coach, when you're
Yep,
ready.
right, for sure. Well, first of all, I thought it was a great crowd. I thought they brought a lot of energy. I thought our players did a great job of feeding off that energy, and you could feel it in a couple of the categories. I thought defensively, our young ladies played really, really hard. They were very, very disruptive. It was really fun to watch. And then on the offensive end, we didn't maybe make as many shots as we wanted to, but our effort to offensive rebound was absolutely outstanding. So I thought the energy really propelled us, and I think this was a great way to kind of open the season and get things started.
Great, thanks, Coach. We'll go into questions for Makena and Sophie.
Makena, pretty impressive debut. I mean, first game, just what was it like getting out there, getting some minutes? You scored more than a point a minute in your debut. I mean, can you just talk about what it was like playing in the barn?
Yeah, I was excited to play with all my teammates. Being in the barn was really cool. The atmosphere, the energy was really cool. But the main thing is I was really excited to play with my teammates.
And she defended well. Let's talk about that.
As a coach, like, how would you,
We'll have questions for Coach after players.
I mean, Sophie, a lot of three-pointers in this game. Just how was it kind of preparing for those long rebounds and just kind of working inside against a team that is so perimeter-oriented?
Yeah, I mean, definitely had to get out on the perimeter and guard, long shot, long rebound. Big shout out to Amaya because 10 defensive rebounds. Oh my gosh, she has really stepped up in that category. I mean, obviously tonight, but even in practice. So, I mean, I would say it was a team effort. Yeah.
Mara obviously makes her return tonight. Just how good was it to see her out there, and then just how did you think she was kind of getting acclimated back to game speed, Sophie?
I mean, game speed, she's there. I mean, I guess she's the Mara Braun I remember, plus some. So it's been a lot of fun to play with her. I mean, I got to set her a couple good ball screens, and that's always great to toy with people. Just really enjoy playing with her.
Any more questions for players? Awesome. Thanks, guys. You guys are good to go.
Okay, let's talk about McKenna's defense now. Yeah, let's go to that.
I was going to ask, just like, what was your, you have a player and you obviously see them all summer and leading up to the season, beginning this year, take the court officially.
Yeah, I thought she handled the emotions of playing in your first home contest and at a really high level. I think she's someone who's very calm and steady anyway. But I thought she did some really good things on both ends of the court. Obviously, I think the message to our team, certainly was afterwards. There are, when people look at a stat sheet or they evaluate the game, it can be very misleading, and I think you brought up, or Sophie brought up Amaya Battle. Amaya Battle only took 3 shots in the game, but had a huge impact in the game because she got 10 defensive rebounds. She was frustrated because she didn't get offensive rebounds, but she was trying to get them, and she had 7 assists and 0 turnovers. And really kind of set the tone for us on both ends of the court. So I just think there's so many examples of that. I thought Fino Tonga was someone who came in and got 6 offensive rebounds along with Sophie. And so there's so many players that made a lot of really good things happen in that game. And so it's hard because if you're looking at one category, then this team isn't going to be a team that just one kid is the key focal point. I think we have the ability to play in a couple of different ways and attack in a couple of different ways.
You mentioned last week like how impressive you were with just the nonverbal communication of this team. I mean, playing a team like North Dakota that just launches threes at the rate that they did, or just how impressed were you with kind of the rotations and kind of recovery that they were able to do?
Well, I thought North Dakota played really hard. I thought they attacked us with great tempo, and that is really hard to stay in balance when you're trying to guard all of that. You're trying to guard a quick handoff, a back cut, come off for a handoff for a shot, and then a quick ball screen action, and then a drive, and then a multiple move, and then get to the rim and try not to foul them at the same time. And we didn't do a good job of that, so that's something we have to learn to do a better job of. But I did think that, again, this group is starting to learn how to play in sync with each other, and when all those things are happening, you don't have time necessarily to even tell a teammate to switch. You kind of have to feel it, and it has to happen, and then you have to, guard the other your teammate's player. And I just think the goal for us is to have the players who are on the court give us great energy on the defensive end and love doing that. And I think they're really enjoying that. And then players come into the game, and I thought Bradley Glenn was one who did a great job defensively for us. And we have so many other players who can step in and make things happen right away on both ends of the court. But again, you can't control if the ball goes in. I thought we got a lot of really good shots. And sometimes when you don't make shots, as a player, you start to press. And then when you start to press, you're trying to throw the ball into places that aren't really open. And then you start throwing the ball away. And we didn't do that. We took care of the ball at a high level. You know, we just didn't make as many shots, but we did control getting to the offensive glass. So again, I think you want to make an impact on both ends of the court, but the reality is you can't always control, or very rarely can you control what happens on the offensive end in terms of if you're making shots or not. And so then can you continue to play with the defensive intensity that you need if you're not making shots? And some teams can't do that. This team is a team that did that tonight.
How helpful is it to have like Amaya out there that, I mean, you mentioned Amaya's just decision making, but to be able to weather those shot droughts where buckets aren't coming, but they're still making the right play and still getting back and playing good defense?
Well, I think you look at the possession that Amaya got the defensive rebound and Fee sprinted up the court and got a layup, and that was a momentum shift. Right at that point in time, I thought we all of a sudden had things going. And it was kind of almost inverted in some way that our point guard got the rebound and our post kid was out on the perimeter, but that's how they had to be out there to guard. And then we ended up with a kind of a breakaway layup. And then I think the very next possession, Tori got a steal and got a layup. And all of a sudden it was like, that can really get you going. And so again, that was a possession where Amaya didn't score it, you know, but she got us going in a really big way.
How did you feel Mara did in her first game back out there?
I think Mara is someone who impacts the game in so many ways. I just think her pure joy and elation and the way she just carries herself is just incredible. I think she changes how the defense guards you. You know, we put her in the third quarter in a situation where she was in a rise-up scenario and they didn't leave her. Well, then it changes the spacing on the floor and it changes who's open at that point in time and how you can attack. And so moving her around and having her be in different spots is really helpful for our entire offense. You know, I think at the same time, she's someone she does such a good job of coaching this team. I hear her before I come to timeouts, I hear her talking to them about what we have to do in finishing plays and saying all the right things that I probably should just let her take over and keep going because she's saying really good things to them. So she just understands and she has the respect of her teammates, and I think they do a good job of, you know, locking into the details of what she's telling them too.
Any update on her status? I mean, looked like maybe a cramp or something, but...
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yep. And so just getting back into the flow of it, and, you know, at that point in time, so it looks like she'll be in a spot where she'll be completely fine and be able to come back and, you know, be ready to go.
Great. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.